But anyhow, just one of those things. 3 things you need to know about any investment cash flow. And we're going to talk about quality, quantity, and durability. And what everybody seems to want to look at when they start to look at a commercial investment or investment of any kind is how much cash flow. Isn't that true? Okay, is that important? Yes. It is, but it's not just the quantity of the cash flow that you have to be concerned about. If you buy a little strip mall, and there's 6 units in the strip mall, and of the 6 tenants who are leasing those units, 3 of the tenants haven't paid the rent in 2 months. One of them is already in Chapter 11 bankruptcy. So you have cash flow here, but what is the quality of the cash flow like? It's poor, okay? Now, on the other hand, if you have a little strip mall with 6 units, and one of them is Joe's Jewelers, and he's been there for 18 years, and the other is Cameo's Hair and Beauty Salon, and she's been there for 12 years, and the other is a Starbucks Coffee, which is, you know, used to be a well-rated tenant. But the point is, if you have national rated tenancies or good quality long-term tenancies, does that tell you something about the quality of your cash flow? Absolutely. And the quality of cash flow, guys, is equally as important as the quality, particularly in this day and age. On the building that I just showed you, we had a company come in after Handyman Connection left. They wanted to move down to Melbourne because it was where most of their business was. So they moved out. We had a company come in, and they wanted to rent from us, and they were Astro Records. I shouldn't tell you the name, but they came in and wanted to rent the space. And so I met with them and talked with them, and they said, you know, here we want to rent the space, and I get a credit reference from everybody. I do a credit check on everybody. I don't care if it's a corporation, they're going to sign personally for me. And we did a credit check on them, and the credit check came back terrible. So I went to them and I said, listen guys, and here's my rule. I'd rather have the space vacant for an extra month or 2 and put a tenant in that's going to pay me for the next 5 years than scrounge to get anybody in there and have them move out in 3 months and leave the place a mess. That's way more costly than having it vacant for an extra month or 2. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay? So take your time. Anyhow, I met with them and I said, look, guys, this is not going to work. I'm sorry, but you know, your history doesn't show. And they, well, it's the right location. It's the perfect location for us. It's everything. And, you know, they really wanted the space. So I said, okay, I'll tell you what we'll do. I need 4 months security deposit, $4,000. You put $4,000 up. Why do I want that? First of all, 95% of everybody who starts business this year in 5 years is gone. And most of them are gone in the first 12 months, okay? So they've got a bad set of averages against them off, just right out of the gun. But their track record was also not good. So I said, I want a 4-month security deposit, and if you put 4 months up, then I will lease the space for $1,000 a month, which is what I was getting for it before. And they said, okay, we'll do that. So they gave me $4,000 up front. And then they were going to move in, and I said, okay, now that's your security deposit. You're going to move in on the first of whatever month it is, but before you move in, you need to have your first month's rent. The 15th of the month, they came with their first month's rent, and then they bought a whole bunch of junk into the place. And I haven't seen them since. Sent them lawyer's letters. The lawyer's letter is just an eviction notice because I want to be covered on that end. So I sent them an eviction notice, and it came back returned. It was a, what do you call it, return receipt. Okay, and it came back. Now, here's the point. I didn't have any confidence that they were going to be a good tenant anyhow, but the place was sitting vacant. They were willing to put up the 4 months security. So my attitude is I got that much extra money out of it. And I would rather they just didn't do it, frankly. But they were fighting me to be in there, so I said, okay, if you want to do this, you can be in there. Okay. But protect yourself. Cover yourself on that kind of thing. Because I've got to pay money, had to pay money, to get the stuff that they moved in taken out. And it was such bad stuff that I called the local thrift store, and they sent somebody out, and they said, "We don't want it." But see, my deal was they didn't want it because I said, "Look, you can't just come in here and cherry pick. You know, I need to have it gone. So you either take it all or you take none." And there wasn't enough good stuff to make it worth their while.